What is happening, everybody? It's CJ here from Dream Diecast Cars, and today I'm finally coming back with a review because I know you guys have wanted one. And today I'm doing it on this 118 Pagani Zonda R. Now, real quick, before I get into the review, I just want to remind you guys to follow me on the social medias. Those will be on the screen somewhere. If you're interested in this Pagani Zonda R, make sure you check out this video. It is one of my favorite videos on my channel, if not my favorite video. It features both Pagani Zonda R's because my friend has the other one with the Italian racing stripes and has this one, so it's really cool to see both those models together. It's a great video. And also, I hit two big milestones recently. One, I hit 8,000 subscribers, which is awesome, but the bigger one, I hit 2 million total views on all my videos. So thank you guys all so much, and let's get into this review. So as usual, let's begin by taking a look at the front of this car. And I'm sure one of the first things that you guys have noticed is all the carbon fiber. This whole car has bare carbon fiber on it, and AUTOart did a great job of replicating that. This green racing stripe on the front looks pretty perfect, along with this Pagani badge, which I think looks great. Then you'll see that the lights look bang on to the ones on the real car. The door mirrors also look great. They have more carbon fiber on them, as they should. And those two screws on them make them look very realistic, just like the ones on the actual Zonda R. The splitter looks great, along with this tow hook, which is done in real metal. And it's just these little touches that AUTOart put on there that makes it look just like the actual car. So now let's move on to the side of this model car, where we'll begin by taking a look at the wheels. To start, you'll see that the tires are Pirelli P0s, and that's labeled on the tire as it should be. Then on top in small lettering it says Zonda R, which is extremely realistic. The rim itself is made out of metal and looks just like the one on the real car. Then if you look really closely, you can see that those red brake calipers say Pagani on them, which is extremely realistic. And if you flip the car over, or at least look at it from the bottom, you can see that the tires have wear on them. Now this camera job might not be doing it justice. You can kind of see it right there. But that is actually one of my favorite touches on the car, and I know it is extremely subtle. But as I mentioned earlier, AUTOart does all these little things just to make this model look as realistic as it can be, and that touch is a great one and an extremely underrated one. Then, since this is a race car, you can see all the advertisements on the side, and it says Pagani Signature, which looks bang on. And of course it says Zonda R in big letters, which I think looks awesome. So let's move it to the back of this model, which I think looks great. You can see that the lights look pretty perfect, but they're pretty simple lights, so that's not too hard to do. I really love this grille back here. You can see that it is made out of a real metal material, and you can see through it like you can on the real car. And the Zonda R badge also looks pretty perfect. Then when you look at the spoiler, you can see some more carbon fiber, then Pagani in big lettering with the Italian stripes, which look great. And I also love the way AUTOart did the exhaust. I know that it's pretty simple, but they're made out of real metal, so it looks extremely realistic. Now let's look at the areas that lift off on this model car. It has two of them, one which covers the engine, and then one on the front which covers more of the electrics and the suspension. You can see that AUTOart replicates the buckles that would hold them down on the real car extremely nicely, but I do have a complaint. They come off way too easily, which I guess is okay because, most of the time you're going to have this model on display, but if you're moving around for any reason, you just have to be careful. Even if you're not holding it upside down or anything, which you shouldn't be doing, they just fall right off most of the time. However, when you look under it, it looks pretty beautiful. You can see the suspension in there, which is working, which I absolutely love. All these screws on the side add a nice touch, and it features a lot of wiring, which is extremely detailed. That front part, however, is nothing compared to the engine on this model car. For a while, I thought the engine on my Ferrari F430 made by BBR was the best engine ever made on a model car. It's made up of hundreds of different pieces, and it looks pretty perfect. But I think AUTOart may have done it even better on the Zonda R. Take a look at this thing. Once again, on the rear portion of the car, you will find more working suspension, which I think is so cool. The main engine block, which says AMG on it because the engine is made by AMG, and Zonda R. The tubes which go up to the exhaust are made out of real metal and look perfect. There's a ton of wiring in there. It is just unbelievable. You can tell that AUTOart went to great lengths, putting in hundreds of pieces to make a picture-perfect replica of the engine on a real Zonda R. Frankly, I think it could be the best engine ever put on a model car because it just looks so perfect. So with that, let's move on to the interior. Now, this being a race car, the interior on it is pretty bare, but AUTOart has done everything they've needed to make it look just like the one on the real car. You can see the air vents, which look perfect, the steering wheel, which features more carbon fiber, then behind that the paddle shifters, and behind that, and I know it's pretty difficult to see from this angle, but AUTOart has replicated the digital display quite nicely. So now the real question is, how much does all this cost? And the answer is a lot. You see, the retail was pushed up to $330, which is already a ton, but they are sold out on AUTOart's website, so you can't even get them for that anymore. If you want to buy one of these new, you're looking at the $400 to $600 price range, which is a ton, and I'm pretty happy I bought it when I did because I bought it for way less than that, so I'm definitely feeling good, but do not buy this car now. You never know if AUTOart will re-release it, and a classic example I was thinking of is the Ford GT, which I've wanted really badly, and I'm super happy that AUTOart has re-released it, because on eBay right now those things are going for $300+. But now AUTOart is about to release them, and you'll be able to get them for $150. So wait and see if AUTOart re-releases this, but I definitely don't suggest getting them for that price because it's super high. Now you could consider getting it used, and then you're looking at around $250, which is still a ton for a used model car. But if you really want it that badly, go for it. So now on to the final ratings, and since it's been a while, I'll remind you guys how this is all done. The first rating is the rating without the price. If you had all the money in the world to spend on one of these, just rating this model car for what it is. And the second rating is including price, which is obviously a very large factor. So without the price, I would definitely give this car an A, because the only problem is really these things coming off a little bit too easily when you're carrying them around, and they're kind of difficult to put back in. But other than that, and most of the time they're going to be sitting on a shelf on display, it is just extremely realistic. And as I said, the engine is, I think, the most realistic one ever fitted to a die-cast car. Just this whole thing looks extremely good. However, when you factor in price, thinking about how much they're going for right now, I would have to give it a C-, because for $400 to $600, it's just not worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.